Hello everybody, Brian here with DIY Outdoor Life. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing and an owner's review of the Yeti 1500x by Goal Zero. Now I own a ton of these units from all of the brands. I use these every day to do my job. I'm building off-grid, converting vans, working in remote locations. So I hope to give you a good in-depth review of this brand and how it matches up against some of the competition on the market. Now my YouTube friends say that you're supposed to do a first-person unboxing point of view, so let's check that out now. When I'm unboxing one of these units, I'm looking to see how high quality the packaging is. These units have to be shipped ground because they have lithium chemistry batteries in them, which means it could take as long as 2 weeks to get to your home. That means that they could be on as many as 10 different trucks. You see, this unit comes with a display box inside a thicker corrugated box. Inside the display box, we're going to find a fully enclosed high quality foam. This foam is better than styrofoam and it can definitely absorb a few drops or being tossed around. These units come fully assembled, so the only thing you're going to find in the box is an owner's manual and your fully functioning Goal Zero 1500x. For those of us who are new to portable power stations, they basically come as a high-capacity battery with all the instrumentation and equipment needed to charge the battery and discharge the battery built into one unit. They come with pure sine wave inverters, so we can run household appliances, camping gear, or tools when we don't have access to shore power. They come with a communication screen that will tell us like watts in, watts out. You could switch that to amperage. It'll tell you the state of charge, both in a graph as well as the percent of charge that the battery's at, as well as with Goal Zero units, it'll give you a timer, so time to depletion or time to full charge. So if you're running something like a 12-volt refrigerator, the unit will tell you how many hours that it can run that refrigerator before the battery is depleted. If you're charging from sun or the wall, it'll tell you how many hours until the battery reaches 100%. All portable power generators come with a 12-volt out port, like this regulated car port, and Goal Zeros come with an Anderson power pole connection, which is 30 amp hours of regulated power. That's possibly the most underutilized feature of these units, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. These units also come with a variety of ways in which they can be charged. Goal Zero products come with an 8mm barrel input. You can use this with the wall charger that came with it, smaller solar arrays, or even a car charger for this unit. In addition to that, they also come with a stacked Anderson power pole input. You can use this for larger solar arrays or even the 600-watt wall charger that you can purchase for this unit. That wall charger will charge this unit from 0 to 100 in less than 3 hours. They also include an input and an output underneath the hood. This allows you to store the charger that came with it under and run the wire out the back. So when you're using this unit and charging at the same time, you can keep everything closed and out of the way. Now that we've covered the basics, I'd like to do a little bit of a deeper dive into this system. I don't want to turn off any of my beginners in the process. I know it can be challenging to listen to a bunch of technical jargon, but it's critically important that we are educated consumers when we're talking about a product of this expense and this complexity. It's important that we understand some of the functions that lead to this system performing in certain ways and why certain systems perform better than others. It's one thing to compare these things in a laboratory setting, and you might find similar functions for some components, different from others, but all of these systems operate differently when we get them out in the field. Whether it's temperature or just vibration and abuse, not all of these systems are going to hold up the same. I've been very happy with my Goal Zero units, and there's a reason why I use these. I do not receive money for making a video like this. During the making of this, I think I have like 60 subscribers. There's a reason why I have chosen these units, and it starts with build quality. The Goal Zero Yeti units come with a solid aluminum housing. This housing, when you strip all this ABS down, looks like something out of the Terminator. This is going to do an incredible job keeping a strong, rugged unit without adding weight. It also provides as a heat sink. These units will cool themselves passively before the electric fans have to turn on. Heat is the enemy of lithium NMC batteries. Now, some of the competition which I own are selling their units in like ABS ammo cans. They look like something from Harbor Freight. These units are not going to hold up to the same amount of abuse, and they're not going to have the same capability of cooling themselves as the aluminum units. Next, for me, the inverter is the heart of this unit. If I didn't need a high quality inverter, I could just bring a battery with a 12-volt port. The reason that we're buying these units is because they're portable. They're all built together so that you can move them from one location to the next and get very high quality AC capability. This unit is a 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter with a 3500 watt surge capacity. This exceeds the capabilities of the outlets in my house. This is over 15 amps of capability. Now, I like to keep these companies honest. In addition to using these out in the field, I do load and capacity tests. So I've been able to run this unit multiple times at 2000 watts from 100% to 0%. Now, I have not been able to do that with all of the products that I've used, and I've owned a few that have actually caused enough failures to the inverter that they do not work anymore. Now, I've run into three major problems, so let's talk about those quickly. They're guaranteed to bore someone. The first is inverter efficiency. I've tested this inverter as well as all the Goal Zero inverters, and I tend to always end up around 90%. Sometimes a little higher, sometimes a little lower. Some of the other units that are on the market are as low as 80%. That 10% is a huge difference, and it could make the difference between like 2 extra days out on a camping trip. Or if you use this like me, it could be the difference between a 6-hour workday and an 8-hour workday. So it really increases the whole value of the unit when you have an inverter that's at that level of efficiency. The next has to do with the capability of the inverter when using it in high wattage situations. I've run into multiple units that have had the inverter fail, and it's two main reasons. The first usually has to do with the discharge capability of the battery cells. Now, I have a unit that has like a 1500 watt inverter in it, and I can't draw more than 750, 800 watts out of it. When I talked to the company about this, the limitation is the discharge capability of the battery. When I explained that seemed like false advertisement, they assured me that they chose to oversize their inverter, but never suggested that you could actually get those capabilities out of the inverter. So you make of that what you will, but for me, it could turn this unit into an expensive paperweight. Now, the next issue has to do with high-end performance out of the inverter. I purchased an expensive brand. It starts with a T. It actually had a 30 amp plug on the unit. When I tried to use the unit in high capacity, the unit would drop into safe mode and not turn back on for like a half an hour. When I called the company, they told me that I had to buy an additional battery pack to bolt into the original unit to get those capabilities. Now, I didn't see this advertised anywhere, but I begrudgingly purchased the extra battery and found that I wasn't able to bring it to the same job sites because it wasn't as easy to strap as like a Goal Zero product on a 4-wheel or something to get into the woods. The bigger problem was that it didn't work. Purchasing that expensive battery did not change the performance of the inverter. It wasn't until I stumbled across a really nice YouTube channel where somebody had explained that the heat going from the inverter was triggering the high temperature setting on the BMS, the battery management system. That meant that no matter how many cells you add to this unit, it's never going to work. And I just haven't run into any problems like this when using Goal Zero products. I see these products being slung on these like prepper channels. They're being paid to make these advertisements, and they're selling these products products that they're putting on a shelf and waiting for Armageddon. They're not going to be able to identify these problems until you take these units out, you test them, and you use them in real life situations. So I'm hoping that my experience can save you some money here and explain some of the issues that I've had with some of these other products. Hey, are you still with me? If you are, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I know this stuff can be overwhelming, but if you've made it this long into the video, you're probably pretty serious about getting a unit like this. So this next rundown is going to go a lot quicker. It's a lot less complicated than talking about the inverter. So let's check it out. Now these units all have pretty similar comm screens. In fact, I've seen all of them get a little quirky when you're really using the unit hard, but they are very handy. I wouldn't say that one is any better than the other. They're all easy to use and they're all fairly accurate for doing what they're doing. The same is true with the DC ports. USB port is usually just a USB port. The Goal Zero has this 60-watt port, which is pretty handy. If you have USB-C appliances or like a laptop, you're going to get a much faster charge from that. As far as charging this unit from that USB-C, well, you know, if you have like 30 hours to spare, it'll work. It might help you in an emergency, plugging your laptop charger into this thing. But other than that, there's nothing major. I have found issues with the smaller units. When you're talking about a unit that's 500 watt hours or smaller, I have seen companies using USB ports with half the wattage. They look the same, they work. So as I was saying, they look the same, but they'll actually take twice as long to charge your cell phone. You're never going to be able to find this stuff out unless you have the testers to keep these companies honest. But I've never had an issue with the Goal Zero products with that. Next, there's a 12-volt section on these units. Now, this unit and all of the X series come with a regulated 12-volt car port. Goal Zero used to do this a la carte thing where they give you like a really quality base unit and they give you a lot of capability of adapting the unit to how you're using it. They still do this to some degree, but this and all of the other X series are now coming with regulated ports, built-in MPPT charge controllers, so they're giving you a lot of components now integrated and they're not charging anymore. As far as a regulated port and an unregulated port goes, an unregulated port is more efficient, but it tracks the voltage of the battery. So when your battery gets depleted, it's giving less voltage through an unregulated port. This used to be what came with the Goal Zero. Now, there's a lot of applications, like let's say you're just running a light where it runs 10% longer, but it begins to dim as your battery dies. That's not okay if you're running something like a portable refrigerator. So you need a regulated port for that. That used to be an adapter, and Goal Zero now includes that. I'm probably the only person that still wants to have the option. But what was happening is there's like 100 videos on YouTube of people putting a Goal Zero up against a cheaper unit and showing that the cheaper unit outperforms when running a refrigerator. What they're not explaining to people is that they're not using the adapter to run a regulated port, and that's what accounts for the difference. So Goal Zero did away with that. You now have a high performance regulated port. It will stay in the mid 13 volts right until the battery is completely depleted. These 6mm extensions are for lights and different Goal Zero products. You can make your own cords and use these for different things. They're pretty handy. I didn't use them at first, but the lights are actually pretty nice, and I'm buying more of those each week. Seems like I'm picking more of those up. The last output on this unit is this Anderson PowerPole 30 amp regulated plug. There's one underneath the hood and there's one out here on the face. Now this can be used to run anything under 30 amps on 12 volts. So your water pumps, fans, some refrigerators, the light system. If you're doing a van conversion or building a camper out, you can run this to a fuse block and isolate different appliances that are under 30 amps. This gives you a lot of versatility. This video is getting too long as it is, so maybe I'll do another video on just how I use that plug, but it's really, really cool, and just know that it's highly capable. As far as charging this unit, you can charge it in one of three ways. You can charge it from the wall, charge it from your car, or charge it from solar. The wall charger, which comes standard with this unit, is 120 watts. You can also purchase a car charger, which is also 120 watts. This will charge the unit from 0 to 100% in about 13 hours. Now, if you take into consideration that you generally don't deplete this unit to 0, that's a much faster charge time and is perfectly adequate for most of us. If you require faster charge times, you can plug multiple chargers into this at once or even purchase the 600 watt fast charger. As far as solar, you can put up to 1200 watts of solar in parallel into this unit. The MPPT is only going to receive 600 at a time, but that's going to give you an advantage in low light situations like the morning or cloudy days. That's a pretty massive size unit. So if you're considering a unit that's like 400, 600 watts, you're going to be able to charge this from 0 to full on most days of average sun. This is going to bring me to my last feature. These units come with a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth control that runs to an app. This is something that I thought I would never use. I'm now finding that I use it every time I use this unit. By downloading the app on your phone, you can control all of the features, including turning outlets on and off from your phone, whether you're in Wi-Fi or not. If you're using Wi-Fi and your unit is in an area that has Wi-Fi signal, you can do this from anywhere in the world. If you're at a job site or a campsite without internet, your phone will use Bluetooth to actually read the screen, give you options to change parameters, and make modifications for how the system is running. You could turn the lights off or turn your inverter on from inside your camper without being anywhere near the unit. The feature that I've come to love the most about this is it allows you to adapt the parameters of the battery. That means I can run in a battery saving mode, which runs from 20 to 80%. This is going to increase the life cycles well beyond any of the other lithium NMC systems on the market. This is an excellent feature. And with the push of a button, you can go to performance or hybrid mode and get the most out of your system when you need it most. This is a really, really neat feature, and I'm very impressed that Goal Zero was able to integrate that without any additional add-ons. If you made it this far, congratulations. We're experimenting with these more thorough product reviews because a lot of customers nowadays are really looking for more in-detailed reviews of the products that they're going to purchase before they spend their hard-earned money. So we're going to wrap this video up today. I want to talk about one issue that I see some people have with this unit, and then just go over basic pricing for a unit like this. The issue that I'm talking about is this unit's MPPT control module is designed to use multiple ports at once for the same style of charging. Whether that's using multiple solar panels or multiple wall chargers, this unit can go up to 600 watts in that case. When you're plugging in multiple types of charge, like solar and wall charge, the unit is going to recognize which you plugged in first and go to that unit for a charge. This is fine for most of us. I'm seeing some folks come up with the issue, whether they're using it in a van, they want to be able to charge from two sources at the same time. Now, this would only be the case if you did not have enough solar to max out the charge on this, or you haven't purchased the 600 watt wall charger, which would probably be ideal for that situation. In the event that you want or need to be able to charge from two sources at the same time, you're going to want to add the MPPT control module, which can be added to this unit for about $100. That's going to allow you to charge from the sun and the wall at the same time. It's also going to allow you to get a little bit faster charge time by giving you, I think, about 700 watts of charge capability instead of 6. So if that's an issue that you're having, most of the time, I mean, it's very easy to find in the owner's manual, but I have seen videos where people seem pretty confused about that limitation on this. So the next thing we're going to talk about is pricing. I discussed some of the build quality features and the functionality of this unit that makes it, in my opinion, a higher quality unit. Now that's just for my application. If you're using these things differently, throw a comment down below. I don't mind. If you have more luck using a different unit, I would love to hear about it. But these units typically cost a little bit more than the competition, and some of that is based on one of these strange myths that's going around. I hear a lot of people saying when you're purchasing a unit like this, you should be spending about $1 per watt hour. So in this case, you'd be spending about $1,500. Now this unit is $2,000, available on Amazon with free shipping. That's where I like to get them because they seem to come faster, either from their warehouses or maybe it's all in my head, from ordering them from other sources. That link in the description brings you to the exact place that I purchased my portable power stations from. The reason I think that this is kind of a dangerous myth is because if you're working under those parameters as an engineer, like I see a lot of these companies pricing their systems that way, then you're trying to design a system with that capacity that fits in that price point. For a tool of this caliber, I want companies and the engineers designing the best possible product they can. So if you were trying to fit all of these components for a $1,500 price tag, you're gonna have to skimp somewhere. And in my experience, it takes unpacking these to understand where these companies are skimping. If you're spending this kind of money on a unit and you need to use it regularly or in intense situations, I really recommend you do a deep dive and really see what's going into the build quality of the unit that you're purchasing. So for $2,000, I've been more than happy with this. Again, I use them for work, so that kind of helps me be able to splurge on a purchase like this. But check out my other videos. I'll be making videos about how I use this with my camper and a lot of recreational ways that have saved me a ton of money. Thank you so much for staying tuned into a video like this. Give me feedback. If you like the in-depth reviews, let me know. If you would like me to wrap it up a little shorter, I could try to do that as well. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe and check out that link in the description. Take care, everyone.